All right, guys. I made it to my destination, sort of a modified trip, uh, due to difficulties with finding charging ports for my EV. I'm just gonna jump in and start talking, and as I usually do, I'll jump back in on it and start, going back over things if people start to come in. But people do just like to watch it on the playback, and I want them to be able to just jump right in without all the wasted, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna get right into it. I don't mind repeating myself. I just got finished driving since 5 a.m. I think I left. Damn, it seems so long ago now. I don't even remember. But I'm here, guys. I'm where I need to be for right now. I made it through the country with the flat tire. Uh, a little bit of luck, but I got through that thing, man. It was some very long stretches of country roads with no nowhere to turn if something would have went down. It's just so funny. I haven't renewed my AAA. Welcome in, guys. I'm gonna start over now that you guys are starting to come in, but I like to kind of just get started as soon as I start the video for the playback people. But as you guys come in, I'll explain to you what's happening and what's going on. I made it to my destination. This was actually my second choice. Um, Somewhere else that I wanted to go, which I still might, so I won't even mention it right now because I don't want them to get to start planning events for me. But welcome in, guys. I want to talk to you guys. They gave me a welcome into this town just now that was quite interesting. I got mixed emotions about it. I don't like them doing all of that on the highway when I'm trying to drive and the high beams. I don't have, yeah, but it's dangerous. But it's familiar. This is where my gang stalking started. This is where my gang stalking cherry was popped. What's going on? A day in the life of a targeted Aries. Welcome in if you're still here. Welcome in. Welcome in. I got a little time to sit down here and talk. Um, I just uh, I just arrived at my destination. The trip felt short compared to the one that I took about 2 weeks ago. So less of a quality vehicle and a bad tire the whole time and extreme heat and a little bit of gang stalking, but it wasn't too bad. It got a little murky there for a second, guys, when I was going through some rural parts of Georgia having tire problems. But once I just got here, and I didn't even check my phone or my Cash App. I have been checking it. I guess I didn't check it in 40 minutes, but I pull it open and I look at my Cash App, and my good sister Kimberly came through for me and blessed the Cash App. I want to thank you. You went ahead and blessed me for what I was asking for. You restored me for what I lost during that little tire mishap. You know, the people at the place where I got the car, they gave me, they're trying to, they want to rent me out horrible cars, and it made it my only choice. So I struggled with that tire on a road trip like that. But yeah, like I said, it got murky. I mean, the worst possible time, guys. The worst possible time the tire went out. I mean, that's the gang stalker's dream to sabotage you like that, and then for it to just fall in place at the right time. There's spiritual aspects. There's definitely spiritual components to this stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm here where I need to be, and I'm gonna do some spiritual work while I'm here to try to, I need to have a spiritual breakthrough. I need to get the stuff off of me that I just experienced in the past 3 years in Atlanta, because I haven't. This is my only my second time leaving the state in 3 years. Oh, yeah, yeah. So I haven't spent too much time in this city that I'm in either. So, man, look at me. I got my bag just laying here in the bench. Somebody could just grab it. What's wrong with me? They're on scooters too. You know what I mean? Let me put my bag in. Let me put my bag away. I'm getting a little too comfortable. Felt like home, guys. I drove in. When I drove in here, all the gang stalkers met me on the highway. Here's some gang stalkers right here by my car. But as soon as as soon as I drove into town, as soon as it said "Welcome to the state," I'm gonna tell you what state I'm in soon. Some of you probably can guess it if you recognize some of this stuff out here. But I'll tell you guys where I am eventually. But right now, I just want to show you the scenery and talk to you guys a little bit. Let me get some of these comments. I see you guys coming in the room. I appreciate you guys for coming in. High Tech, welcome in. That's right, the targeted for sure. America first, free America from Israel. Hey man, you got me saying that name like that. They might think it's me saying it. I think that the Zionist group might have been the ones that swiped all my Instagram accounts because I mentioned some software that they use in their war against Gaza right now, and I was mentioning how I believe that is a similar technology being used with the gang stalking. Right after that, not too long after that, I put that up. All my Instagram channels got deleted and suspended, except for my gang stalking channel, but they locked me out of it. My gang stalking page, I can't even get into gang stalking by the numbers on Instagram. It's still there. You guys can view it, but I just can't get in, and I haven't had the time to even go through the process. But I will, because you got 180 days, so I got to work on all of them. But as you can see, I just keep getting the obstacles put in front of me. But the blessing came as soon as I got here. That's good energy. As soon as I got here, guys, the program activated immediately. I was actually kind of surprised that I got here so quick. It just felt the trip felt quicker. Again, probably because the trip I just took up to DC was extremely long. But as soon as I drove into the state, they had the police right there waiting. Okay, like right where you see the sign that says "Welcome to whatever whatever." They had law enforcement right there waiting, and they had a bunch of sirens. And I kept getting alerts on my map saying, "Hey, police are here." You see how they got the? I ain't gonna focus on that right now. But anyway, so they met me as soon as I hit the state line, and then as I was going, it was myself coming in. Another car came whizzing past me at the exact same time, like speeding. I can't speed in this bullshit car I got now. I know they feel a lot better, but it's all good. Um, so law enforcement, yeah, look at that bird. This is fun. Anyway. So anyway, law enforcement met me as soon as I reached the state line. Then once the guy was speeding past me, and law enforcement jumped out. So I'm like, okay, now I know you're not messing with me. All my stuff clean. I'm not speeding in this little whack car. I'm thankful for it though. I could be walking. And without this, I wouldn't be where I am. Right, I wouldn't be here. I would be stuck somewhere in the neighborhood, walking around, getting gang stuff, being real pissed off. So let me just count my blessings on top of that. And once again, thank you, Kimberly, for that cash app. I asked for something. I needed to be restored. What I just lost. I'm sorry for bouncing around as well, guys. And you blessed me. I just want to make sure I say that again. Thank you. The cash app I got, the energy was perfect. As soon as I got to this spot right here with this water, I looked at my phone and I saw that what I asked for was right there. That was awesome. We stick together in this community, and we can make it. Okay, I appreciate that. But like I was saying, back to the story. As soon as I hit the state line of where I wanted to be here, law enforcement met me right there. But it wasn't really hostile. Like somebody came speeding next to me. We both hit the state line like we were racing into the state, and an officer jumped out. Of course, I know they're gonna start messing with me as soon as I come around, right? I'm probably the most fun TI they've ever had in the state because all the resources get used for me, and they get to have fun with all their gadgets and toys when I come. Because I don't know, it's just that serious. But anyway, this guy's on the curb now. But anyway, guys. So what I was saying, so he zoomed up like he was getting ready to go chase the guy, but he didn't. He didn't. He just I don't know. He fizzled off somewhere. He turned his lights on behind me, but somebody was broke down on the side of the road. And he turned his lights on at that moment where I would have kind of thought he was coming for me, that anxiety feeling. But I know there's nothing wrong with none of my paperwork, my license. I don't have anything illegal in my vehicle, so I don't have any concern with law enforcement as long as they're legitimate law enforcement. But anyway, guys, so yeah, I got here, and then as I rode down the highway, they had the whole mob and crew surrounding me. I'll read the comments in a second, guys. I just want to kind of give you guys a story of when I came into the town. Um, So they had the whole mobbing crew, mobbing with high beam lights, everybody speeding past me on the highway. I mean, the car is a little slower than the one I'm usually driving, but all that whizzing by, they do it in whatever car, man. Speeding past, high beam, and aggressive driving, all of that. So it's like a welcome to town. And then right when I drove into the city, right when I get into the city limits, as I'm riding to the first light off the exit, they do the same thing they do to me every city. They did it in DC, they do it in Atlanta. As I'm pulling up to the light, they'll have like a million cars there. They'll all be stacked up in one lane or two lanes and leaving one lane there for me open. I don't like it. It could be a positive thing, Like here, you got a rifle spot in the front, but the way I see it is, they just want me to be in the front so I can be on the cameras that's on these stoplights, and just to make me feel weird. You know what I mean? Like to do that everywhere I go is real creepy. It's like cultish behavior, but it's really, in my opinion, just government resources being abused for people to play smart people to play dumb games. Hope I locked my car door. I got my keys on me. Yeah, I got my keys. So anyway, all right. So I'm getting ready to get into the comments a little bit, but I just got into town. I wanted to whip this out. I saw that I had that Cash App blessing was there, and I wanted to just whip this out immediately. And while the energy's raw, uh, I'm just getting here. It's fresh. The energy feels really good around this water and all this beauty. I haven't been around this in a while. I had come accustomed to this. So if you're gonna gang stalk me, let me gang stalk me around beauty. So this will be my first stop. Hopefully I can have some success here. Hopefully I can have success here and get to where I need to be, and I can build. I got some real pressure coming up here in the next few days. It's been exasperated by having to, just have to pretty much just decide that it was time for me to leave town, at least for now. So as I say that, he goes and he flies over to the, like I just did. He took a little leap over a little bit. Needed to change the scenery for a minute. Might not be the best timing financially, but it's the best timing for me spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. I had to make this move for a moment. Um, yeah, it was getting a little out of hand, and they were a little too used to me in my home area right there, and it was just stuff that was going on that I had to walk away for a minute for sanity's sake. I don't want to have a stroke. You know what I mean? I mean, the stress is real, guys. So I'm gonna try my luck out here and see if I can have success. I'm gonna look at opportunities that are here, try to take full advantage, and just have to put in a little work and just be flexible. But again, everybody else can bless the Cash App. That'll be great. Now is a good time to do it. I'm having a little bit of turbulence again, due to the extreme targeting and doing things, trying to push me off balance. The stuff they've been doing with these cars, and it's just been some serious stuff. More family digging the knife in. And the thing about family, guys, for you guys, other TIs, what do you think? I'm going back down here to sit on a bench next to the car and read the comments. I don't want, I've been sitting in the car for so long. I just wanted to walk real quick. But yeah, I had to battle a tire all the way up and down. You guys saw the last laugh. Yeah. But I've been through all of this stuff. That's the thing I want to say. I've been all of this shit I'm going through right now with them. Once they're trying to slow down my progress, they start messing with my tires and cars and doing all of these things. Once they start doing this stuff, it's been this is what they always do when it's time to drag me down a few notches, keep me trying to keep me running in place. And they do the same stuff, damage the car, try to make it so that I'm in subpar vehicles somehow, some way that are inferior, that's easier to chase down or bully on the road, and mess with the tires. So my mobility so my mobility will be affected, easier to manipulate, mess with. They want to force me into this EV for my rental, because it's hard to get around to the charger ports. You have so much trouble. I drove 30, I drove about 30, 35 minutes out of the way because one charger that I pulled up to, it just wasn't working out the right way. And I ended up having to drive through the country. That's why I had to have those country roads, because I'm chasing down chargers, because I'm traveling. And it took me out through clan country and all that. I mean, this little car, you know what I mean? Solo dolo. But like I said, I'm never scared of nothing. But I'm just saying, it's just all this unnecessary stuff is the effects of the constant targeting. It's like they target so many aspects of your life that um, mishaps start to happen, and they just I got a video on my Instagram, Gangstalking by the Numbers, where I showed this a visual example metaphorically of how the constant, like, just pulling at your ankles. You know what I mean? It had this guy riding on a moped, and all these little stray dogs were pulling at his ankles and barking at him and just like harassing him as he was driving down. And eventually, he was riding cool for a minute. He was all right, but then eventually he fell off because it's inevitable. He fell off the moped, and I liken that to the gang stalking program. And it's just so many people to be up against to be trying to fight this like this. And then when you got family, doing the inside dirty stuff to you, it just intensifies it. You know what I mean? It's really hard to overcome it. But yeah, I'm about to sit down real quick. I want to sit in the car. It's kind of humid, but I'm gonna just take I got a hoodie on, bright color, try to attract positive energy in a different place. I got a bright color hoodie on. It's kind of cold in the car. All right, guys, let me sit down and read some of these comments. Sorry for taking so long. I needed to walk for a minute. I'm gonna see if anybody can guess where I am. I'm gonna read these comments and see if anybody has guessed. What's going on, Gangstalking Reality? Welcome in, man. I see you got that wrench. Don't hesitate to use it. Oh, all right. Let me see. Okay, it's not too many comments, so I'm gonna read them all. And oh shit, my other phone just fell in my pocket. I hope the screen didn't crack. That'd be a bad energy welcome if the screen cracked on this other phone. Nope, it didn't crack, but the damn bill do. Everything happens at one time. I just got a text message. I was wondering when his other phone bill was due. And here we go with a text message. It's due tomorrow. You think I got the money to pay it? So now I'm be out here with this one phone. But at least I made it to civilization. I was a little nervous out there. I wasn't scared, but I was nervous out there because I'm a TI, and these are the stories you hear about. You mess around, your organs missing. I'm driving this country little town out here all by myself. My tire leaking, nowhere to go. And the wrong person say, "Hey, I can help you." You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, you end up with a missing a vital organ. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, you guys are TI, man. You just gotta take all things into consideration. People have been showing me some real ugly things, so it's some good reminders of how nasty this stuff really is, the energy behind it. So, but I'm gonna try not to bring none of that here into this fresh environment. I'm gonna come at this fresh environment with a positive outlook and positive energy, and not focus too much on the targeting. If it's blatant and if it's there, I'm gonna try to document it for you guys. But I'm not gonna, be hounding it down and trying to read into every single thing. I'm gonna try to ride the positive side of it. There's a theory that some people say. Some people say if you kind of approach it on the positive side, it can work out positive for you. I have experienced that. You know what I mean? If you're going through it with all positivity and confidence that things are going to be all right, sometimes it actually is, and you can have a good time or you can have a positive experience with something. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to come into this with positive energy. You know what I mean? I'm going to wash off everything from Atlanta and all the abuse of the past 3 years. Not saying that I'm going to be right here forever, but right now this is the first stop, and I'm going to try my luck and see if I can find some success out here the way I was starting to in Atlanta. It's just some things out there in the Georgia area and stuff, that particular state, and then the area that I was in. It's just certain energies and vibes that it can wear on you sometimes, and if you got to get away from it, or it can really ruin you. You know what I mean? As a person, it's certain people that I see in that area in those environments that just seem beat down by the environment. They've given up. You know what I mean? And just the spirit is broken. They're still there, and they're still going through the motions day to day, working, whatever. But you can tell the spirit ain't really right. It's a broken spirit. It's a suppressed, suppressed energy, and it's a frustration that a lot of the guys have. That sorry, I haven't got to the comments. It's not that many, so I'll catch up. But I do remember about 5 years ago when I was doing a lot of traveling back and forth between these states down here, and I came back into the Atlanta area. I just remember the guys just seemed to have a bit of a chip on their shoulder. Kind of like a lot more of them weren't in as good a shape as far as just physically. More like kind of like feminine bodies, little flabbier. Not that I'm looking at men, but it was clear that I noticed it. Also, the way people operated cognitively. I'll just say it that way. People seem to operate cognitively, um, not as on the ball, right? So I was there for so long. It's good to get out of that environment for right now at least, and get out of that. So yeah, just imagine being gang stalked by people who aren't really clicking on all cylinders cognitively, but they're being used to gang stalk you. It's tough. So it's just certain energy and stuff and environments you got to take a break from. So you need to make change. Like I said, it's not the best time financially, but it's the best time for me, right? Emotionally, spiritually, physically, all of those things. Like even food choices and stuff, and certain things that's not available in Georgia like that. Where it's more southern, is more fried foods. Not really an idea. More clean eating and more options. And out here, I think I'll be able to make some things, make some progress. All right, guys, let me read some of these comments. Sorry for taking so long. It took a long trip and it ended up being a little stressful there for a little while. So, I had to let me just get into these. It says there certainly are spiritual components to it, sir. Absolutely, America's first. It's a little bit of both for sure. It takes a bad spirit to even do this to somebody anyway. That's the start of it. But I like hearing that music over there going. I just like this kind of environment. It's very diverse. It just doesn't have the same energy that I just was really getting consumed with. You know, that I just needed a break from. I'm not meant to just be staying in one. I can't do. As a TI, it's not recommended to just be sitting in one place for a year straight without going to a different environment and refreshing. But I was on my grind. I was working. I was trying to build. And as I build and build and build and build, people started getting nervous, and the attacks started getting severe. They used the jealousy energy. They used the jealousy vibration, and the people who are suffering from the jealousy programming, they use that MK Ultra shit on people to kind of just really mess things up for me there a little bit. So that jealousy component, that's a strong weapon in a targeting thing. You get what I'm saying? Some cuties out here. Hope I get to partake, but right now I can't even focus. I'm like far from that right now. But that'd be one thing. That'd be anyway. What was I saying? What was I saying? Damn. But anyway, see now I know I ain't gonna give it up. I was gonna say now I know I feel at home now because I hear it's a certain artist, but I'm not gonna even I don't want to save the moment because I don't want to really give it up yet. For those of you who ain't guess where I'm at. All right, let me see. It says I think they are behind you. Did you see the dude? Yep. Let's see. University of Longshot Balancers. What a name. Jersey. I can imagine what the gang stalking is like in Jersey. God damn. Even when I was in those little country towns, those little rural areas, it was the same exact gang stalking. Showing up with the same numbers on the clock wherever I am. I spent like 2-3 hours at a charger. That's one thing about these chargers too. It's not like a gas station. You go under the thing and pump gas. You're covered from the sun. We got to get out here and charge up, and we're dealing with the machine, and especially if it's one you never dealt with before, you got to figure it out and keep jumping in and out the car. It's hot as hell. I did not want an EV for this trip, but they forced it, and it gave me a real piece of shit, man. I mean, this thing has 105,000 miles on it when they gave it to me. I've never gotten a car from somewhere like this with that much mileage. It was a big screw you type deal. This place I paid for everything on time and no problems, no issues. Everything's great, and it seems like the better you do things like that as a TI, they resent you for it. It's like how dare you be able to, how dare you be able to, pay your stuff on time and try to operate and conduct yourself in a dignified manner. You're not supposed to be dignified. We're not supposed to be able to carry ourselves in a dignified manner. Um, we need to be late on the bills and have to call and sweat and have excuses and begging and trying to explain and being at the mercy of somebody's feet. We're not supposed to be doing good, clean business, paying our bills on time, following policies and doing things the right way. Now we need to be uh, we need to have dysfunction. You get what I'm saying? We need to have stuff that they can say, see, That's what they are. You get what I'm saying? But if you're not producing dysfunction, if you're not producing dysfunction and you're doing things by the book, you're keeping up with your bills, you're budgeting your money the right way. That's too lofty. Now you're an uppity Ti, right? Now you're doing too much. Now we got to drag you back to reality and put you back into your place, right? And that's kind of the energy that. And then it's like not even anything that you do. It's just that. And what they also will do is they'll find a way. They'll find something to galvanize everybody on behind, like some kind of thing. Oh, he does that, what? And everybody say, yeah, that's the, you guys gotta look at the read the book and watch the movie 1984. You'll get an idea what I mean. But they gotta like stamp you with something again that will stoke people's negative emotions and negative energies, and that's how you start having all these bad things happen to you in succession in many different parts of your life. So you just gotta be careful with it, man. It's an energy game. So like I said, I'm gonna come out here positive, man, and try to see if that'll work out and have some success out here. I got a certain kind of job that I want to get out here. Also, something that I've been putting off for years, not really wanting to do, but I think it's time for that. I just know when it's time. It's time. It's time. The program had been trying to suggest that I do this particular job for past few years. With the program, whatever you're doing, they always want you to do something different. Whatever you're doing is always wrong. They want you to do something else, and then when you do that something else, oh no, you should be doing this. So it's that kind of program. So you just got to really go for what you got to focus on you. Look at all this activity over here near me, guys. This is what happens when you're in TI and you come into town. I never really spent a lot of time here like that, and I wasn't the kind of TI that I am now when I was here last. I was here last in 2020, 5 years ago when I was like running from Gangstalking, and I didn't know that I didn't understand the program at that time. Uh, okay, so what was I say? Last time I was here was different, but you see all the energy starting, like the ground shook now. You know what I mean? Because they didn't know what city I was coming to, and this wasn't my first choice. I didn't broadcast it as a TI. If you're smart, you got to be able to learn how to. You got to learn how to do research. I shouldn't be giving you all, but I did get a nice blessing, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys some game that when you want to do things, there's some TIs that want to have you think they're just reading your mind. But really, a lot of times they're just in your devices and your phones, watching everything you're doing, your emails and everything you're doing. Your phone calls, text messages, they got everything, guys. Bank accounts, what you're buying, what you're planning, reservations. So when you do research on things, or you need the information, and you need to learn how to be vague with it. You need to have it where there's multiple options, where you're not just pinpointing exactly what you're doing. In sports, when I grew up playing basketball, is one of my favorite sports. And when you pass the ball to a teammate, they would say, "Don't telegraph the pass." You can't show where you can't make it obvious. Like, oh, okay, I'm about to pass it right here. Here we go. There he is, right there. Oh, that's called telegraphing the pass. So if you do that in gang stalking, they're all over you. Now, me coming to where I am, it's not hard to guess that I would be back here anyway. So they greeted me at the door. But like I said, it didn't feel particularly bad. It didn't feel like it was coming from a nasty place right now. So, but you see all this activity down here near me now. It was kind of dead when I first got here, and but right now, um, but I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit. But well, we'll get to it. We'll figure it out. But you see, as I walk up and down, as you can see, that everything is like more like a diverse environment. It's not like, oh, why. Even though the city of Atlanta is diverse, if you're in Atlanta, that even is sort of segregated. It's diverse to an extent, but what's the word? What's going to say? Even when you go outside the city of Atlanta, like everything is very segregated. It's more like you got all the Hispanics and Asians tucked over to the north for the most part, north of the city. Um, and then most of the black population, African Americans, even though there's a lot around sprinkled everywhere, but it's Atlanta, but mostly for the most part down in the south or the west, that's where they pretty much are. And you got some components to the east, right? it's just like very segregated. Then you got more of the Caucasians in Cobb County, Sandy Springs, things of that nature. They're over there, and it's all segregated away. And then when you go into these different environments, you can if you pick. My face is probably on the show. The way I was outside, sweating all on the ground, sweating, trying to jab into this tire to plug it up, and I needed to go sit in the car in the air conditioner for a minute and to let this energy calm down. They're gonna go too crazy, and I'm out here looking all oiled up and sweaty. Probably let me go sit out for a minute, looking crazy. Sometimes you got to know when to take your energy, remove your energy from a situation, because they're not going to be able to help themselves when you're around. It's just going to be commotion, and it's not. If you're like me, it's just going to be nonstop commotion. So, uh, sometimes you got to know when to kind of like conceal your energy, conceal your what's the word I'm looking for? Your you just got to. Sometimes you just got to know when to conceal your energy signature, because they can't. It's not going to be able to help themselves. All right, so let me just jump in here real quick. It's kind of humid. Get a little air and read some comments. I feel a little more comfortable. They're bringing a lot of cuties around. I'm not trying to get distracted right now either. I'm just not in a condition for that right now. Man, all right. My tire is looking good, by the way. If anybody is interested, I'll just jump back in here. I just had to stop every now and then. I just kept stopping and adding a little more air to the tire. It's still leaking a little slowly, but it's not profuse. And so I just had to keep. If you guys saw the last live. So basically, the tire made it. I ended up having to, once I sat there and charged my last charge, I added some more foam to it for the fix a flat, and plugged, and just put air in it, and it was cool. So right now it's looking okay. It's just sitting steady. All right, let me get into the comments, guys. Let's see what we got going on out here. That says from Israel. Yes, it begins with the letter P. The company. If you're still here, sorry for being so late on you. America First. Yeah, if you're talking about the software company, yeah, all that stuff is a big deal. It has all of us um under his control at this point. You know what I mean? It's like we're all being dominated. Some people just don't know. We're all being dominated by all this technology. It's just that some of us have been awakened up to it. You know what I mean? And they say ignorance is bliss. So for those who don't know about it, they're a little more. They're bringing out all kinds of different energies out here right now. But everything that they're bringing out is reflections of things that I've manifested through different reasons. Whether it's just different reasons where I might have interacted in different ways, and most of it will be online, because that's where they can see the most. But anyway, they're gonna get the ball rolling out here. Like I said, I've been here before 5 years ago, and I remember the Gangstalking was heavy. It's right when I drove in to hit the state line. They were right there waiting for me, going crazy, almost like they were excited that I was back. But anyway, I'll just keep the camera rolling, let you guys see. They're gonna probably be a little tame because the camera's rolling, but I'll keep it going for a little bit. All right, let me see. Gangstalking Reality, my guy. Yeah, man, I see your channel. You mentioned the stuff you deal with the rental cars. Yeah, this is my first time in a while driving any other vehicle. I've been driving the same vehicle for the past year. So, going through the process and having to get this rental car and stuff, it's been hell. And for the first one they gave me, it was filthy, extreme amount of miles on it. It was a gas car though, but it broke down. I felt terrible as soon as I turned it on. It was shaking and shuddering. I couldn't believe it. And it's just the only choice I had. I had to take that one, right? So it broke down. It broke down, leaving me stranded for about 6 hours. At least, luckily, I was in a good spot where I was, but I ended up having to call roadside rescue out. I'm sure they're gonna try to charge me $200 for it. They gave me the raggedy car. I got to call roadside, and they're gonna try to charge the hell out of me. So anyway, I didn't want to get it towed. Long story. So anyway, I took it back the next day. Then they gave me this one, this raggedy tire falling apart. That's why I'm having the tire issues. He just said that's all he has. That's all they got. So the program has completely taken over. certain aspects right now, trying to like pull me back. All right, trying to put a lot of roadblocks in front of me. So yeah, with the rental car stuff, I saw you speaking about how they're controlling the color cars and all that with you, and a lot of stuff you see. I see similarities to what I'm dealing with, for sure. Uh, let's see. Okay, Angel now aware says, "Hey, are you in Columbus?" No, I'm not in Columbus, Angel. If you're still here, sorry for being so late on you. Um, I've never been to Columbus. Maybe one day. I almost ended up in South Carolina. One of the Charger ports was there, but I figured out a different route. I'm pretty pleased with the route that I took. I felt it was kind of risky, but I made it with faith. You know what I mean? Made it through there with a bad tire. Didn't have any issues. Like I said, I've been through this stuff. You build the muscle. I've been dealing with this stuff now for years. All right, I've been dealing with this stuff now for years. Same old stuff, the tire issues, right when I'm trying to travel, right when it's time to roll, they start doing all this stuff with the cars and just the financial attacks go to the extremes, trying to put me in desperation. I've been through this stuff, you know what I mean? So I'm out there in this little town. I'm at I pull up to the gas station trying to plug the tire up. After I came out of the Walmart, they bring law enforcement over there. A big bald-headed, maybe about 60-year-old white male with a bulletproof vest and a big ass firearm, making sure he keeps his hand right next to it. Then sees me over there plugging my tire up on the ground, sweating. Doing it the old-fashioned way. All the tire shops were closed in town. It could have got ugly. You know, I had to waste I waste $20 on a tire fix a flat. But this is the journey for a TI when you're isolated to the extreme, and you just aren't the type that's some of you got families where you could probably still be around them. Well, look at this high beaming the shit out of me. You see that my rear view? I'm at the close. I'm putting my rear view up. High beaming the shit out of me. All this energy over here. Now that I'm here, look at that high beaming the hell out of me. Look how bright that is, guys. Why does he got to do that? You know what I mean? Look at him, just sitting right there behind me. You know? Another one right there. All this activity wasn't here when I first got here. But I already know, though. You know what I'm saying? We already know what time it is. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. This is the kind of energy. Yeah, this is the kind of energy that I would prefer to attract. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is the kind of energy I would prefer to attract right here. You know what I mean? That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad at all. I hope I'm not looking like a creep right now, but it's beautiful women. I'm just getting here in town. She came over and did a little cha-cha, so she wasn't camera shy. Yeah, man. I'm gonna stay positive out here. I'm telling you. I'm gonna stay with that positive vibe. I shouldn't have said it publicly because I know they're gonna try to really probably go against that, but it's still gonna be a positive side. There's also gonna try to meet me. Think about that famous photo where the two fingers trying to meet each other. It's like I think it's a Da Vinci photo or something like that. They're doing some recording anyway. They're probably social media girls. I'm not gonna keep the camera on them like that. Let me see comments. Here we go. Alvaro says jump, jump into the water. Double dare you. Send me. Hey, look. Send me a few $1,000s and I'll jump in there. It'll really suck, but I'll shit. A few $1,000s, man. I'll splash up these new shoes I got on and all these clothes. Send me, cash at me a few $1,000s, and I definitely will jump in there real quick. I got to go to a side where I can get out easy though. I don't think there's any sea creatures in there. Send a few $1,000s to my cash app. If you want the cash app, if you need it, let me know, and I'll send it to you. And I'll jump in, man, for sure. Give me a few thousand. That'll straighten me out right now. Yeah. Shit. All right. Let me see what we got going on. Double damage here. Double some stacks. Battle for Your Brain says get NLJD and RF scans for microchips. Go to Jesse. Okay, I'm gonna scan this right now. Jesse channel mine. Okay. All right, I'm trying to screenshot that. So, as soon as I said I was getting ready to screenshot it, a comment came through and pushed it right up. I wonder if that was the three-letter boys playing with me. I just left their environment. I just left up there in DC. 2 weeks ago. I went up there. I had to confront my sister's husband. He was getting a little out of control. They say he ain't taking his meds in a few weeks. They called me all the way from Atlanta. I jumped in my car. I dropped everything, take off about 4 or 5 days of work, and drive up. Now they did send me some money to help for the travel, and that was definitely help help me to do it. But it's still the same. Uprooted everything. I went up there, confront the dude. He's out of his mind. He's crazy. They said everywhere he's going, he's making a scene. So I thought I could calm him down. I get up there, he runs from me. Once we get to where nobody can see us, he runs from me. So I jog up, the hill, and then once he gets to where everybody is, he starts like kind of like windmill swinging at me, slapping and doing like the windmill move, trying to attack me. My damn little sister trying to break it up, screaming all loud. I'm like, this is a circus show, I don't do circus shows like this, you know what I mean? And then just like, and then afterwards, it was kind of like, all right, screw you, bye. I don't know. It's just, it's a Ti, man. If they got your family, some of you probably are estranged from family, and if you are, man, and if you go back around, it's gonna be hard to really recognize, and it's just a weird feeling. And then you get resentment for being away, even though you were chased away. It's tough, man. It's a lot to unfoil. I think the rest of this year, I'm gonna have to really do some work. I'm gonna have to do some work that wasn't done um, in recent times, where times have gotten a little better. Certain things needs to be adjusted. AirTag. What do you mean AirTag? Um, woo woo. Okay. What do you mean AirTag? What happened? Ashley Baker says, "Thank God for your new start, new beginnings. I miss the '90s with less technology that these demons use on us when life was normal." Man, you just don't know. I appreciate you, Ashley. Um, Thanks for that comment. Yeah, hopefully it can be a permanent thing. If I play my cards right, make the right moves and strategize it, a lot of it was, I just know it was just time when it's time. So hopefully it can turn in. Hopefully I can just have success. I tell you one thing about here, what this place where I am is, I think it's easier. I think there's more. I'm not. We'll see. I'm not gonna say it now. But yeah, and what you just said about the '90s and the technology, you just have no idea. You have no idea how fortunate that people who were living their adult life and able to experience life without all of this technology, all these creepy ass weird people with their weird belief systems and ideology, all in your business, hacking your stuff in private, judging you for stuff that they've hacked into and snuck into, right? In your private life, and they want to use that and judge you. It's crazy what's going on right now, and the people's minds are so gone. They're just so okay with this shit. I'm like, damn, is anybody doing this to you? I mean, how was you like this? Are you okay with it? Or is it happening to you and you're just cool with it and you wonder why I'm not cool with it? I'm just so confused still. Even all these years, it's just the mindset behind it. Are they, I don't know. I just think it's confusion. It's confusion and distortion. Of course, there's handlers that are, more aware of what they're doing, but it's weird. It's very weird, man. And I really do wish, I really remember, I think about the '90s. Um, Definitely affectionately, man. Without all this technology, and it was still mystery to life. I mean, they want to take out all mystery. There's no way for you to just go somewhere and get a fresh start and be a new person. They want to hold you to whatever, if they want to. They want to hold you to whatever little mistake you could have possibly made in life at some point, and they want to hold your feet to the fire and rub your face in your mess at all times. It used to be, yes, you can make a fucking mistake. You grow. You know what I'm saying? You live, you move on. You don't stay stuck in a certain phase of your life if you have any kind of sense. There's this thing called Darwin's law, rule of survival of the fittest, or whatever. Darwin's theory of what's this shit? So it's Darwin. You guys know what I mean. Some of you smart people know what I'm talking about. Um, Natural selection. I think that was Darwin. You don't you can make mistakes. You can have certain, phases in your life. You get what I'm saying? And move on from that. Now it's like you got to have a permanent stamp. Like all these people with tattoo their bodies. Right? I don't have any tattoos. Right? But it's not that I have it yesterday because nothing like that. It's never interested in it like that. But what I'm saying is like they want to tattoo something to you, put a scarlet letter on you, and you got to just wear that. And that's what they use. But, think about methods of control and mind control and domination. You understand, right? It's come from a higher place. Methods of maintaining the order that they put, right? And it just really starts when you don't move forward. When you're being targeted, it's intelligent. Definitely, yeah, I really, people, like I said, people who were in their prime, like before this technology, those kind of people now, especially the old ones that's out here gang stalking, all the things they've done, walk around now, and if they're doing it purposely, paying attention, and all that. Think about that. Think about now when you see on the news all of these extremely old dudes. So now that the DNA is out here, and they find their DNA on horrific crimes they've committed and things like that, and they're like right now they're like a church deacon, the head of the local gang stalking community watch church group slash national security slash penis police slash you know what I mean? Everything they're ahead of all of that, but back in 1974, down by the river, said it was they did something horrible, right? And now their DNA comes back, and they're exposed. We got to know who they are, right? We get the experience. This kind of mental, psychotic side, gang stalking folks, right? They show us their face. We get to see the face, and the sneaky, the devious, we get to see that. And, sometimes it does get exposed, and that's what people usually look for, But we get to see it all the time. Oh, damn. Shit, okay. Sorry about that, guys. Damn, I made some good points there, too. You couldn't even hear me. Damn, that was deep. I had my Bluetooth out of my ear for a second, and I literally forgot it was on my ear. Damn. Yeah, I had some good points that I made there. Sorry about that. Y'all really just missed out on a profound thought if I could say so myself. But one thing I show you too is when you're being gang stalked, there's always somebody that's always got to be sitting in the car around you, and they got to make sure you know that they're sitting in the car. Like this person has been sitting here the entire time with their light on. They don't have to have their lights on, right? It's not necessary to have the light on. It could be one of those cars where you have no choice, but it's just ironic that when you're a TI, there's always somebody there that's sitting in the car around you, and they got to make sure you know that they're there by flashing a light like that where it'll stand out. So for those of you wondering about gang stalking, with just little things that you'll notice when you're targeted, it's stuff like that. Nothing too serious, but it just kind of it could be annoying if you let it be. It said, okay. So it said, hi, gang stalker. I can't hear you. Okay, I think I did. I think that's the one I just read. Okay, KC, thank you. If anybody can hear me now, let me know. Hit the 27. If not, I'll just end this live and try to get myself situated. I got a lot on my plate that I need to do. Thank you for that Cash App, Kimberly. If you're listening out there, that really helped me out a lot. I appreciate that. I needed that. I put the call out to my network, to my peoples, and you came through. As soon as I literally, guys, as soon as I pulled up right here to this beautiful scene, I pulled out my phone and I saw I had a Cash App 37 minutes ago. So I guess I was on the highway not paying attention, just trying to get here, and it came through and I didn't even know. And I've been checking it, since I asked. I've been, checking it periodically because the NSA or the Pegasus or the Palantir or the CrowdStrike, whoever, whenever I get like a notification that's positive, right, a positive notification, it doesn't make it to my phone a lot of times. I won't know. Now, if it's something negative, like a bill past due or something bad, I'll get that. You know what I mean? I'll get that. I'm not gonna even tell you guys why
that guy right there is riding past with this number on the clock. But I just tell you to study the Monster Energy drink. Study what the Monster Energy drink symbol means. And that'll be the reason why that guy was doing that right there across that bridge. That bridge is considered critical infrastructure, by the way. So me sitting right here is really setting off a lot of gang stalking alarms. You know, just to give you guys an understanding, that bridge is considered critical infrastructure. Transportation department, I believe, highways and transportation or something like that. And this the program is designed to protect those kind of things from us doing some kind of terrorism act. That's the excuse, I believe, that how they get a lot of us on, you know, because they got to be under control, like they do the dog walking thing right there. Um, but anyway, uh, he looks like an agent for real, like for real, from Nebraska. Working for the local FBI field office or something. You know what I'm saying? This is probably one of his like his CIs or confidential informants that. Um, anyway, your imagination, your imagination can go wild in this program with all of it when you get so much information. But you see how it's just so many different types of people walking around, very diverse. Um, this is one of the cities I spent the least amount of time in here in the place that I'm in, which I will reveal to you for those of you who don't already know. All right, so I see the comments are slowing down, so you guys must be tired. You know, I don't want to just keep running my mouth here. I think the energy is getting low. Been on the road since 5 a.m. 5 a.m. This trip shouldn't have been that long. It's just dealing with the chargers. You know what I mean? Dealing with the EV. I did not want an EV for this trip, but you know they forced it on me, and they made sure to force a really horrible one too, in really bad shape, man. That was tough. But sometimes you gotta just keep pushing forward. You know, I'm just glad that I was able to plug the tire up with my bare hands using this tube. And this, let me show you what I use. For those of you TIs who don't have one, you might want to get one of these. If you have the ability to get down and change a tire, this little thing right here, all right, you use that and you put in the. I showed you this years ago when I was in Tampa and they were tearing my tires up real bad. I did a demonstration showing you the same way to fix the tire. Actually, I probably had the same exact tire inflator and a fix-a-flat. So I pretty much used that little tool, and there's these little tube things. You put it inside that tool and you jam it into the tire, and you just keep and then you pull it out and it kind of plugs the hole. You understand what I'm saying? You pull it out and it'll plug the hole up. So I used that as well as some sealant from Fix-a-Flat, and then I put the air from the tires. The Walmart happened to be right there. Like I was just so lucky that there was a Walmart there. Just right there. As I turned around from using the air pump that wasn't working, I really needed it desperately too. It wasn't working, and I look up and I see a O'Reilly's Auto Parts. I said, okay, oh that's perfect. I go there because all the tire shops in town they say close at about 2 o'clock on a Saturday, guys. It was like a small rural town. So I said this story a little bit earlier, but those who didn't hear it, you go back and watch my last live. It was kind of dramatic. So anyway, I look up and then I drive there. Then I see that there's a Walmart like right next door. So that's great. So I go into the Walmart, and grab what I need. It's all good, and pull up to the gas pump and fix the tire, and I'm here. I made it. So that's all that matters. You know what I mean? Got here. All right. Let me see. All right, guys. I think you guys are tired. So let's see. Woo Woo said, "Dude, lay off the PCP. Is it illegal to stalk gang stalkers? Man, PCP. Do people still smoke PCP? I haven't heard that one in a long time. You must be a robot programmed by somebody from the 70s. You must be programmed by somebody that's getting ready to finish their FBI career because you really said PCP. Are people really smoking that still? Where I grew up, they used to smoke. They grew up. That was a thing in Washington D.C. back in like the In the 80s, 90s, they used to smoke PCP, laced marijuana, and go crazy out there. Yeah, I never got into nothing like that, man. I never messed with any drugs or nothing, you know. There's this Ti that I saw. I was resonating with his story recently. You know, I can kind of identify with the guy. I've been seeing a lot of new Ti's appear since I've been looking at this content again, and he was going through his story, and he was talking about he was he was addicted to drugs, and he was committing a lot of crimes. So he was actually dealing with it in Florida. So he was dealing with a lot of. Here's my energy right here. Of course, it's always at all the cars. They're gonna be right here with me. You know that. It's all good though. It's all love, right? It's all love. So anyway, he was saying that he dealt with a drug issue. Just hit that like button for me, guys, and maybe my numbers, maybe the conversation can grow. I hit the like button. It'll probably let people know, and I'll stick around a little longer with you guys. I really need to just sit here for a while. It was a long trip, and I'm not gonna be working or anything tonight, so I need to be ready for tomorrow. So I'm not in a rush. So I'll stay here if you guys want to keep the conversation going for a little while longer. I could go to probably 11 at the 10. Yeah, about at the 11 at the latest is I'll go. All right. So just depending on if you guys are stick around, if you're in here and you guys are um engaging. But the guy, this guy's a Ti. He was saying, and he ended up saying he found Lord, the God. He was never into God, but Gangstalking pushed him into the spiritual world. But he was saying that he was into crime and drugs and those things, and he was using public Wi-Fi while he was sleeping on the streets and all that. And he feels like he got hacked, and they start controlling his life at that point and targeting him. As I say, like not all of us were have been addicted to drugs, but then you can consider marijuana a drug. And especially legally, the police can say, "Oh, this person's a marijuana addict user, and we need to target them because they're communicating. They're communicating with people who are they're communicating with people who are in the trade, and they need to be surveilled, stuff like that. So, but anyway, let me see. Witness one, where is it? I'm on a road trip right now, so I didn't want an EV. For one, that vehicle has a software update. It needs to be updated, and when you have it as a lease, it has to be done legally anyway. So I figure it's the perfect time just to go ahead and do the road trip and get from under that car, just like, kind of like free myself from that payment and try to do something different and try to make some other moves. So I decided to go ahead and just get out of town, just grab a rental car and go out of town and just kind of like try to make some things shake and get a different energy because they were really like pushing hard to stress me out and that wasn't really working. The stress part wasn't working, but the sabotage, the financial sabotage, and just doing things to make life hard, holding me back. I had to, you got to get away from that sometimes and get a fresh look at things. Not that I'm going to come here and it's going to probably be great and different, but it's definitely a fresh look. And sometimes a fresh look is what you need if you're in this program. All right, let me see what we got. Supercomputer AI. Yes, okay. You say okay. Let me go up a little bit. You guys are getting it going. Ashley Cashmere. Is that a different Ashley? I think the last Ashley had a different last name. A lot of Ashleys coming in here, and if it is going to be a lot of Ashleys coming in here, I know why. And I'm not going to even say it because it'll get worse. But if it is a lot of Ashleys coming in here tonight, and especially being where I am right now, I know why. And ha ha ha. I guess that's the Matrix playing games. All right, I'm gonna turn the arrow on. I'm getting hot. All right, let me read some more of these comments, guys. Okay, let me see. Sorry, I hope I'm not being jittery with the camera. I want to work on doing better with that. I want to monetize this channel, so I need to start doing better with my camera work. I know it's raw and all, but they're like, hey, you don't want to give people motion sickness. All right, let me see. Ashley Cashmere says, I just want to give out mouth hugs. Is that bad? It took me a second to read the comment, and it's funny. And I tell you what's really funny about it, Ashley. You want to give out mouth hug? I can go for a mouth hug for sure. especially what I just went through, and they make it hard for us to do that. In the past, it would never been difficult for me, especially in this city. Well, I'm not gonna get crass here, but yeah, I got a memory in this city. Maybe that's why you said that. I don't know, but I was going to say, well, I won't touch on that too much. I'll let that go. But what I will say is this: when I read your name was Cashmere, there is somebody who is known for mouth hubs, who's in that industry that I remember from back in the day when I did used to watch those kind of videos, right? Back in the college days, I guess. Her name was Cashmere, or that was in her name, and it kind of crossed my mind. Then when I read your comment, I had to look at the profile to see if it was her. I'm like, okay, that's the kind of manifestation I need. I'm joking. All right, who's on water? All right, I'm second. All right, it says, what's happening to us is called critical game theory. Yes, witness one, I agree. I've touched on that several times, and if you guys can really see what I'm going through, it definitely is a great example. Guys, I got something really important I wanted to mention to you. I'm glad I just thought about it. Um, before I get to that, I'll finish the comments. But I got something really, really important I wanted to mention. I really think I'll probably do a video, or I'll just chop this up. So I'll make sure I do this part real well, and I can probably use this as a video, and not just a live. But um, yeah, I'm losing my train of thought because I just thought about that. But yeah, we are definitely doing a critical game theory. We're dealing with that, and I feel like I'm dealing with it to the extreme, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. We all probably think we're the main character dealing with the worst. So a lot of it is mind games. It's all about how we think about this stuff. You know what I mean? So really practice. Let's work on practicing that as we go into this new month coming up. It's just how we think about things. I got a lot of pressure coming up here, so I got to get focused. Let's see what we got here. Supercomputer AI, CIA, DOJ, everyone is involved in what's happening to us. Yes, everybody and all of those people you just mentioned, all of those employees, all of their secretaries, all of their contractors, all of their family members who they give the access to the apps and shit to. All these people are involved. Remember, I'm from the Washington D.C. area. They like doing stuff like that, sending an airplane across like towards the building, like on some terrorist 9/11. Because I'm sitting here and I'm on a watch list. Now I could be reaching there, but I know the sense of humor of the program. And we got 24 on the clock, and they do my stuff. I'm on a 24-hour surveillance, right? So they do stuff like that on the numbers. Watch my channel. I've been talking about it for years. Ooh, I'm tell you one thing. I'm starving though. I gotta get ready to find some food on the late night. I'm sure I can find something. All right, I'm just running my mouth, but that's why you guys come, right? All right. KC says, I believe you're making good moves. I'm going to definitely try my best out here. I'm going to definitely try my best. I think this is a good environment, a fresh look. It's still going to be Gangstalking. I've been here before. I've been watching this environment out here now from afar for a little while now. So the energy is definitely, it's going to be interesting to experience it for myself. I've just been hearing a lot about what's been going on out here over the past few years. So I don't want to just take the word for it from other people's opinions because it's usually some kind of agenda behind it. I'm one of the rare people left in the world. Maybe I'm just the dumb one or something. Everything I do is not agenda based. Now, and I'm not saying that I don't do things with intention, but I don't usually have ulterior motives. I don't operate in that way. And most of my life, I didn't have to operate that way. I didn't have to trick women into dating me or trick people into this or trick people into that, or to get things done. Now, I'm not saying I was right, right? Because maybe I would be having more success living up the top of one of these high rises if I was that way, but I just wasn't. So, but maybe some of the pitfalls I did avoid. So we'll see. It ain't over yet, all right? We are still pushing forward. Let's see what we got. That says Cash Rules says, okay, says what's going on, what's happening, Cash Rules. Yeah, definitely. Cash definitely rules our society that we're in. Cash made this skyline right here that we're looking at. You know, absolutely. I need to probably stop filming this nice skyline anyway because this the kind of thing they say. They say filming stuff like that. Filming things and buildings and stuff. And you're already on one of these lists, kind of makes it worse. But They know my body. I've been dealing with this stuff long enough. I'm on. They can see me on live. But I'm sitting here showing this bridge. So let me just redivert the camera so it doesn't look strange. Because they're really good at making up scenarios for us, right? They're really good at making up scenarios and painting certain pictures. So that's why you got to be careful what you do, because they're really skilled at maneuvering you around and having you, just communicate certain things that they want to communicate. They're good at this stuff, so let's be careful. All right. Witness one says, "A lot of gang stalkers earlier on your live, so we all left." Yeah, I gotta get more moderation going on, and of course I can't do any moderating. You saw what I was dealing with, but that's interesting that you mentioned that everybody left. So I gotta get better moderation going on, because I do have moderators, but I haven't made enough yet. So I gotta add some more so that when things like that happen, I usually just ignore those perks and all that, but I just let them. I let them do their thing, because we just ignore them. You know what I mean? I don't give them energy. But I understand why people don't want to see perps in there. So I got to definitely get up on that moderation. I might have to put you as a moderator. I've seen you around a lot, and the fact that you just mentioned that, you seem like you would have been able to eradicate some of that. So let me make you a moderator right now for giving me that information. Let me see. Add as moderator. All right, so you are a can review and remove chat messages, black words, and change chat. Okay, yeah, we're gonna put you as a moderator if you want to definitely help out with that if it ever gets like that again. But those bots and all that, they usually are good for boosting up the live. It helps us reach more people, because the fact that they're there, it brings more in, and it boosts those numbers up, and it'll bring more eyes to the story. So eventually, the right person will see your story. Something good could happen. You know what I mean? You never know. So yeah, it's like a gift and a curse, right? I'm glad I haven't lost the train of thought of that one story that I want to tell y'all. But that's one thing that I've learned with the gang stalking as well, is you can't just one problem that I had. Well, I just not say but some people have an issue of, if you don't agree with one thing with somebody, you gotta just completely flush them and throw them away, right? You gotta learn to compromise, right? It's not You're not gonna be able to be in agreement and in perfect union, in harmony with everything, with everyone, especially the older you get, right? So you got to learn how to take the good with the bad with people, and and still be able to deal with people, who you might not agree with everything on. You may have differences of opinion, but it doesn't have to be problematic, and it doesn't have to be a point of you over there, we're over here. When you become a TI, you know the importance of having a network now. You know the importance of being able to work with people, because they look at the program, they have all kinds of people. They work with everybody. They don't discriminate, and that's why they dominate, because they don't discriminate. So that's why I kind of don't really. That's why I don't really like think too. I don't really agree too much with the people within the program who are more like, who believe in like separation, and more like religious doctrine and more that kind of thing, where you got to be this way, or these people can't be accepted, because the people that are dominating and doing this to us, they are not rigid as far as who they utilize to get their goals accomplished. And as a TI, the last thing you want to do is shrink your further isolate yourself. You know what I'm saying, by being too judgy of people. We're not in a situation where being too judgy and about things will be to our benefit. We wanna be able to have an open mind and take chances with certain people. You might be surprised. That's what I say. And I couldn't really do that in the environment that I was in. It was just too much of a the targeting in that area, the Atlanta, Georgia area, is just so strong. For instance, I still haven't got to that one important thing I want to mention to you guys. But for instance, here's a good example. The mayor of Atlanta, his last name is Dickens. He's good friends with the founder of the Flock Camera. I don't know. I mean, talking like this kind of gets me. I don't know if it gets me in trouble. That's why I'm dealing with this kind of stuff. But I mean, but it's facts. It's out there. You know what I mean? I'm not anti-government. I'm just stating facts and just saying this is why it's so bad in the environment that I was in. But he's pretty good friends. He comes from the tech world. He went to Georgia Tech, the mayor of Atlanta. Right now, the city of Atlanta is the most surveilled city in I don't know if the world, but definitely America. High surveillance. A lot of that stuff is going on out there. And the flock cameras that reads everybody's license plates, license plate readers, is a very controversial thing going on right now all over, like privacy advocates and that whole community is a big deal. You can find a lot of videos about it. But they're good friends. So he pretty much gave him carte blanche in Atlanta. And of course, it spread out. You got all those rich people out there, and they want to protect their big homes when they're on vacation in Aruba and Dubai, and they got these big, huge mansions out here wide open, out here in the woods and the sticks. You got all these starving people out here with a culture of Atlanta where there's a pressure to shine. Yeah, they want that kind of technology, and so it makes the gang stalking amplified because they got so many resources. They already have the tracks laid out, so everything is already there to have you in a cage, a virtual cage. So yeah, that's one thing about Atlanta. So hopefully I'll recognize a difference here. All right. No, not saying that not saying I think it's gonna be better. Trust me, I've been here where I am now, and all up and through this whole state, and it's a lot of the game stalking here is nothing to sneeze at. But I just want to see let's just see if a change of scenery can affect something. We'll see. Um, let me see. Hi, strangers, welcome in. You know what? If you don't mind, I want to make you a moderator also because I see you here a lot, and you never really. I don't think you've done anything crazy or nothing like that. So I want to make you a moderator. If you're interested, I'll make you one now. Most people don't deny it. Okay, so I'm going down. I'm going down on the list here. Uh, Witness one says a lot of gang stalkers early. Okay, yeah, okay. High Stranger says, hey, what's going on? Welcome in, High Strangers, moderator. Glad I caught some of this one live. Yeah, I've been traveling. I just got here I probably pulled up right here an hour and a half ago now. I need to hurry up and drive away from this location, but it's hard to because it's so beautiful. I've been driving around all day. I've been through a lot. I just need to sit for a minute. But as a TI, they'll start doing all this. They'll start sending their first batch of gang stalkers to come send certain messages and different things, and then eventually they just get tired of you being there because they got to keep sending people and resources and having all these different ideas. And you see, you know what I'm saying? And they get tired of you being there. Then they start doing stuff like sending people over, doing rude stuff or being loud, or start law enforcement, security. They'll send somebody around and try to shoo you away so they don't have to keep running the program and using resources. But I need a moment. You know what I mean? I've been traveling since 5:30, very minimal sleep. I barely ever slept anything. So I need a minute, and I want to talk to y'all. And the community blessed me tonight, so I need to make sure I give you my time. You know what I mean? Uh, Let me see. High Strangers say, okay, my man Ricardo, welcome in. You caught another live. Got that wrench. I appreciate you. I had a live going on earlier. I had some pretty intense. Had a pretty intense moment out in rural Georgia with a leaky tire. I had to think quick. I ran into a little bit of luck. I had some quick thinking, some good luck, and some know-how and experience, and I got through that shit, man. So I made it down here to my destination. This is my plan B location, and I'm here, and I'm gonna try to make the best of it. I got a pretty pressurized situation coming up here early in the week. So if anybody wants to help out with that a little bit, like I said, I'm trying to get a fresh start here. I'm gonna need a little help on the financial side if anybody is able. I'll show my Cash App again before I end this live. I'm trying to end this live by 11, guys. I got to get some rest. I got to go figure out, all that. I'm just getting in town. Let me see what we got here. I'm still gonna tell you guys that story I got to tell you guys about. It's gonna show you. Matter of fact, let me get through these comments. There's so many of them. I don't want to miss anybody's comments. So let me really get some of these. But I got this story that I just got to tell you guys. It's gonna just pinpoint everything that I tell you guys that is true. We are the test experiments. Even though there's other people that yell that louder than me, because I'm always on a national security thing. But we are really being used as test dummies, right? We're being used as experimentation, and I'm going to show you guys exactly why in a second, okay? I wish I had that screenshot on a different phone, but I'll get it to you guys. Maybe if I don't show it now, I'll put it in my shorts, and you can go see the documentation. But I'll tell you about it. But we are the test dummies, all right? Let me read some of these comments. Uh, okay, it's not too many. Let me get down here. Um, it says, I get the same as you, if not even heavier. That's horrible if you do. 'Cause I get it pretty bad. But let's see what happens here. Let's just see what happens. Uh, they're not sending as many past right now. It's getting later. I just hate that vibe that I got. Feel like I need to drive off. I should just be able to. I should be able to just sit here anonymously for a minute, for about an hour or two after a long trip in this little ass car that's falling apart. I just can't believe that they forced. Anyway, I should be able to just sit here for a little bit anonymously without having my anonymity blown up and having programs run around me, which is, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not whining. It is just life, but so it just sucks that it has to be that vibe where I need to get ready to pull off because the program is, gonna get irritated with me sitting here too long. I don't like thinking like that at all. Even though I'm not going to do it, I just don't even like have to have that thought. But anyway, okay, so it says, who wants smoke says, you're gang stalking. Why would you put yourself in a position of danger? Um, Sometimes, unfortunately, who wants smoke, you just got to do what you got to do. I was given this. This car because of the gang stalking program was forced on me. The condition of this car at the worst time possible. I had to travel. I had to get out of town. I'm dealing with limited resources because of financial suppression and financial abuse and financial domination through the program. Using this technology and these different apps outside of my job, which was holding me up, but trying to use these other ways and means, they've been attacking me really hard using the tech. So I haven't really been able to really make the money that I need to make to maintain things. So they're able to take advantage of you when you're in that situation. So they were able to force this car on me because of limited options, and the car was unsafe on purpose. So as I'm taking my trip, unfortunately, it ended up becoming pretty bad at a really bad time, and that's how the program is designed to put you in so many bad circumstances that it'll just kind of create itself. A ball of unfortunate circumstances will create itself. And right there, it really metastasized. It turned in. It really like materialized right there. At the worst possible time, it all was going bad. But again, with experience and been going through this shit, from going through this program, like I've been dealing with it for the years now, the past 5 years, all that I've been through, and then just age. You got life experience. You know what I mean? Um, knowing that I do the right things where I'm able to be protected, protect myself. So it's just a list of things where you can take chances that are calculated, but you just got to do what you got to do. Sometimes they want us to be unstabilized. They want us to be unprotected. They want us to be unsafe. That's the idea, and they really invest a lot of resources into making it happen. Sorry about my voice, guys. I'm doing a lot of talking and I don't see my water. I'll find it, but I just got to get this out right now. Um, but they invest uh, more resources than you can ever imagine into causing these circumstances. It's like some people call it magic, you know what I mean? But it's really just using all of this technology and all of this manpower and resources to be able to manipulate circumstances that will put you in a bad situation. But at the same time, they could do the exact same thing on a positive tip. But I think it's probably easier negative. But there's some people, they tell their story. This guy Rich Paul was telling his story. The guy LeBron James, his manager, his partner with Clutch Sports, their sports agency. I was watching a documentary of his a couple years ago, um, and he was just talking about all this luck that he had, and it all culminated to him just running into LeBron James randomly, I guess, quote unquote, randomly bumping into him. But everything just seems like they were just going right for him, right? Like it seems like he's in the program from his childhood. What he was mentioning, he does seem like he's in the program, but for some reason the program for him is turned on the positive nozzle. You get what I'm saying? They turned it on the positive side where, a lot of us, we have the same program that's turned on the negative nozzle to give us a negative experience, right? We're the ones that have been chosen to go through the furnace of affliction, where some are being treated differently. So we'll see what comes out of the suffering and the pain that we got to endure. I mean, because the shit I just went through. I mean, I don't know a lot of people that would have made it through what I just went through in that environment. Had the right tools. I know that I have to carry those things in my car. Me in particular, because of all the damage they've been doing to my tires over the past, over the past probably 7 years or so, right? With all of that kind of damage that they've been doing, I know certain things I got to carry. I know how, do what you got to do. But yeah, just to answer that question, I went all in. But that's, yeah, we don't want to put ourselves in positions of danger. It's just that, again, the program and its AI software is all designed to hassle the shit out of you, to stress you to death, really. And again, that was like a death trap what I was in. So I could just imagine if it would have been night and I would have been riding down that street and my tire messing up like that, and I'm in the middle of West Bubble F, Georgia, in a rural dirt. You know what I mean? That was crazy. But again, I got through that joint, man. So anyway, that's dirt under the rug now. It's documented. It's there. I probably never watched that live video again. I don't watch any of my videos. None of my lives. None of this stuff. This moment that we're having right now. This is the moment that we're having. I don't watch it again. I post it up for others for the sake of history and documentation. But I don't watch any of this stuff. My lives. Now every now and then I might watch an old video, but I barely do that because it was at that moment. I was going through it at that moment, and whoever may watch it and they may relate to it, they may be going through that experience at that moment, and that's for them. But for me, I might be in a total different mind space, total different situation, and I don't even need to see it or be reminded or be re-traumatized by it because they do enough trying to re-traumatize us with abuse that we experience. All right, I'm losing my voice. I'm going to 11, so we got 15 more minutes, guys. I'm losing my voice. I gotta go get food. I gotta find out. I gotta get score some sleep. So I gotta get it going. But the energy's good out here. They're doing the things that I do enjoy. There's seeing a lot of beautiful women around, um, and the energy's feeling pretty good. I'm feeling positive out here. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try to make the best of it. And there's another Ti whose videos this guy. Every time I mention this dude, I can't remember his name. But I've been watching a lot of his stuff, and this dude is really on point. He's really on point with this stuff. He has a good following, over 3,000. Page not too big, but it's not a small, 3,000 or so. But he's really on point. It's like SBSRG, something like that. But he's like really has a good grip on this whole program and how to deal with it, and the real good take on the NPCs. And I mean, there's some dudes out here and women, people out here that really understands this stuff way beyond. If you think you know it, there's always somebody that is like really on point with it. You get what I'm saying? And just keep your eyes open and keep an open mind and listen to different people's opinions out here, and don't just discount people opinions, just because you might not agree with everything they do, say, look, whatever. Because as a TI, you don't want to further isolate yourself by discriminating against certain things. Okay, that's just a message from the OG. Let's see. Witness one says, wanted to thank you for helping me understand things better. You're a good man. Hey, thanks a lot, Witness one. I appreciate that acknowledgement. I just try to share my story. I was just shocked when I found out that I was going through this stuff, and then to find out there's so many others going through it as well. It was definitely eye opening, and I just figured, I'm isolated, And it seems like no matter what I do, they're gonna keep going. So I figured I might as well just share my story and not just suffer in silence, because I would have to suffer in the program regardless. So I at least need to be visible at some point. Once if I do get this thing monetized, I probably start showing my face. But I don't know. I got to this point without showing face. I think that it's part of I think that's part of the appeal to my channel, that it's not about me. You know what I mean? It's not about what I look like and who it's about the story. I am you. I am every man. I am every you Americans. I'm you. I'm the TI's TI. I'm going through it like you. It's nothing fake. There's no fillers. I don't have any special agendas. I'm not evangelizing on the low. I'm not trying to convert you to any indoctrination. None of that kind of stuff. I'm not. I don't have like idea. I don't have ideas and like ambitions of being some kind of cult leader, or trying to be like some. I don't have. I don't think I got all the answers, but I'm just trying to share my experience and use some of my knowledge and relate with you guys and learn from you. You know what I'm saying? That's me. Is what it is. Underdog says, I'm not here all the time, but if you mod me, I will help out. Okay, yeah, I've seen you here enough times where I feel comfortable with you modding out. So yeah, I got you. I've seen you here in your comments and everything have been pretty positive. So yeah, okay, witness one. No problem, witness one. I appreciate you. Supporting the platform. Underdog says, "Sorry, this is high strangeness." Oh, okay. On my phone, you always have phone issues every time you switch back and forth. That's why I recognize the name, because you switch to that one. What is that? Your alter ego? You switch back and forth every time. Do you have a multiple personality thing going on? Be honest. Because even though we're all a lot of us are really TIs. There are people in this environment that do suffer from mental illness, whether it's chemical imbalances or it could have been induced because of the program and things like that. But let's not discount mental illness. There are people who are in the programs and all of that who suffer from mental illness. Not saying that you are. I'm just using that as an example since it is brought in mind. All right, as soon as I get to the bottom of these comments right here, I'm gonna get to this last point that I was saying that I wanted to mention. He's walking by Gangstalking 94195. I don't know why they use that number, but they've been using it for years. So they just use that homeless man who looks like a TI down on his luck. He was just used by the program to walk past me at that time. That's all part of the program. That number, they do use that. I just don't know what it represents. Trust me. All right. Ricardo says you should give underdog a okay. I just did. I forgot my phone is a different account. I don't really use this one because I'm usually on my PC. Yeah, I know. I need to get a damn PC, but like I said, it's just so much. Sometimes even when you do have the extra funds or ability, you got so much going on, can't remember everything at once, and before you know it, you fighting the Gangstalking program again. You ain't got money to be spending on anything extra. It's just like that. It's like that. All right. Let me see. Can you answer my question if you have time? I'm genuinely curious. Respect and thank you. What's the question? I says, I'm learning to keep quiet now, show no emotion. Only way to beat critical game theory is to not participate. Only way to beat it. Yeah, we can try not to participate as much as possible. But when they do stuff like I just showed you on my last live, giving you like like for example, just giving me a substandard vehicle, making sure that my options were limited, and I ended up with a vehicle that's breaking down on me, tires going out. They put you in the circumstances, and you just trying to live your life, but some things they make you have to deal with. Yeah, I ignore them all day, right? But they will do things that'll cause you to have to give it some attention. It's hard to ignore it. If you can, it's great, but it's definitely you don't want to let it consume all your thoughts. But some things you do gotta give some attention to. They're hanging out real heavy right here behind me. I'm not mad at them. They want to soak up some of the energy. Let them get a little bit. I ain't been out in the state in a while. I know they're excited. All right. Let's see. Underdog says, you got it right, witness. Yeah, for sure. Thanks, bro. Okay. Um, Mission Impossible. What mission is impossible? What mission impossible is that? Woo, woo, woo. Is that how you say? Is it woo, woo? Wee, wee. Witness one says critical infrastructure is everyone involved. Yeah, no doubt about it. Everyone who works in any of these critical infrastructures, all that, they all. That's how you. This is how you're just gangster by everybody in society because they share your name to all these different lists, and you're just. I mean, this is like one of the most fucked up things ever in human history to do to people. Murder is one thing, you know what I mean, and sexual crimes, we know those things, but just something like this is so insidious and just like so like omniscient present over people's lives, and it's just such a nasty thing. You know what I mean? It's to think it's so the word is diabolical. It's been an overused word over the past few years, but this is a diabolical thing to do to somebody. You know what I mean? Like somebody really should. I mean, you really got to do something like somebody's child. Sexual. I mean, it should be a certain standard before you can do this to somebody out here. You know what I mean? And to do it off of speculation or a non-convicted person, you're doing it because of a charge. I don't know. I don't know. Again. So we get to the end of it, guys. My Bluetooth just died. I think I got down to the end. Well, I always think I always think I'm at the end of the comments, but I'm not. So I'm gonna start all the way at the bottom of the comments, and then I'm gonna go up, and then I'm gonna tell my quick little story. It's involving, well, I ain't gonna tell you what it's involving, but it's something that you guys are gonna understand when as soon as I tell you, you're gonna know just what I mean. Especially if you've been in my lives over the past few weeks, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. And all I want to hear is you were right. I'm not even gonna say I told you so, but you guys are gonna see exactly what I mean. All right, but I'm gonna start at the bottom of the list and try to go up a little bit. All right. And I'm still locked out of my Instagram, my Gangstalking by the Numbers Instagram. I haven't even had time to go through the appeal process or, go through contacting them. I don't even know where to start. And I got to do it with like 5 accounts. They deleted all of them. So, yeah, they hit me up. I think I mentioned something about Israel, just really trying to compare something to Gangstalking. I think that might have got me on a different radar because they're in wars mode right now and they're chopping down anything that seems like it may be criticizing what they got going on, which I was really just using the technology that they have access to as an example of what we're dealing with in the program. But right now, they don't care right now. They own it. So I hope they can understand that and let me get my stuff back. I don't go in here criticizing their stuff. Okay, so Who Wants Smoke says, just wait till the AI hits super intelligence. We're about to learn what it's like to be obsolete. Oh man, yeah, I know what I'm getting the feeling of what it's like to be obsolete. All right, let me get into the story real quick because I don't want to miss this. I want to tell you a quick example. Speaking of obsolete, let me tell you guys this before I read the last few comments. That I'm gonna end this because I gotta go. I've been driving since 5 a.m. and it shouldn't have been that long. Okay, some more honey dips. Yeah, like I'm not mad at this at all. Right here, this is good energy right here. Good feminine energy. You know what I mean? Beautiful. Yeah, I miss being out here. She just found a cell phone right there. Is that mine? Hey, yeah, that's mine. I don't know nothing about nothing. Damn, I left my phone right there all this time. Damn. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Hold on a second. Ah, damn. I know what. All right. Shit. Okay. Give me a second. I gotta rotate this. All right. Sorry about that, guys. What an encounter. So they picked my phone up off that bench. That would have been a horrible way. I gotta look. It must have came out of my bag. That would have been a horrible way to come into this town and lose my second phone like that on the bench. It must have slipped out of my pocket when I sat there, and I didn't know it. Let me look on the bench and make sure there's nothing else there. Man, I'm so glad I was. See how luck sometimes. That's what I mean about good karma, guys. You got to keep your karma clean. You don't want to let this program make you evil and vindictive too much and do things because that energy will destroy you and things like that won't happen. I could have been left. I could have pulled away from here a long time ago. You know what I mean? She could have not looked right there. Somebody else could have sat there, picked it up, and walked off but it happened to be a girl that was a little tipsy, excited, and she, phone, and you know what I mean. I happened to be looking over there at that moment. See, that's what I mean about the energy. You got to keep it clean, your energy clean, and your vibe clean. Because if you start getting evil and vindictive, and if you start gang stalking other TIs, and you're not keeping your nose, you won't have experiences like that. Even a few months ago, stupidly, I left my phone that I'm on now, this iPhone. I left it on top of my car as I was leaving work. It was gang stalking stuff going on. I was just trying to get away from it at the moment, and I left my phone on top of the car. And I drove down the block a little bit, and then I realized, oh no, I need to make a U-turn. I'm going the wrong way, right? Gang stalking shit going on. I'm just trying to avoid something, and I make a U-turn, and I hear something drop off. I hear something fall. So I kind of say, maybe I ignore it. I don't know what that is. I said, something made me stop. And I stopped and looked, and it's my main phone, my primary phone that fell off my car and hit the ground when I made a U-turn, all right? So before I could even get to the car, there was cars. Of course, I'm a TI. There were cars whizzing up the street, and they drove everywhere but on my phone, right? They didn't hit my phone. They didn't run my phone over. So I was able to pick the phone up. So I'm just like, I know it's probably crashed. It fell from my car. I look at the screen. The screen is just fine. But I do have really good protection on this phone. Because after a gang stalking incident about 2 years ago when my phone screen got messed up, I bought good coverage. I bought good protection on this phone, temper screen and all that. So I've dropped it many times since then, and it hasn't had any damage. But it fell off the roof of the car into the street while I'm making a U-turn, and it still didn't damage. So it really must be good. But that's why you got to keep your karma clean, and you don't want to get in too deep. We're not going to be perfect. Sometimes we do little stuff, different things where we want to have retribution. But if you keep your energy and your vibe right, and you're not out here perping other TIs and doing shit, sometimes good luck or good energy, good blessings will happen like that, because that phone would have been gone. And that's an important, very, very important phone to me. And that's the newest phone that I have in my group of phones. So that right there, if I had some cash, I would bless her right now. And I'm mad she's walking back up here because now I feel guilty. She's coming back up here right now. But damn, I feel awkward now because I don't have nothing for her. Anyway, I guarantee you they wouldn't come back down this time with a good energy. They had great energy the first time, but the second time I know for a fact they wouldn't come back with the same vibe, because they probably got put on to instructions down there about who they just interacted with. So they probably didn't even need to come back up here, but they probably came back up here just to make sure they balanced out the vibe. Because the first time will be, positive experience. You're not supposed to have that as a TI. So to balance that out, to even that out, they'll bring them back, and it won't be the same energy. You see what I'm saying? It's just little mind games you learn as time goes on. All right, now let me get to the story. Now, if you guys have been following me, my channel for the past, I'm gonna make this real brief because I'm supposed to have ended this at 11. It's 11 right now, so I'm gonna end the story. I'm gonna read a few comments, tell this quick story, 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna read a few comments, and then I'm gonna end this live just like that. No ifs, ands, or buts. All right. I'm tired. Look, I almost lost my phone. So, all right. So, if you guys have been following my lives over the past few weeks, I've been showing you guys the struggles that I've been having with the DoorDash, right? I've been having trouble with the DoorDash, not DoorDash. I'm sorry, I'm tired. I'm getting tired, guys. I haven't slept, but I have been having trouble with Ubering in particular. I've been having trouble with Uber, and I showed you how they've been doing this thing all around town where I would get no female passengers, right? There would be no female passengers at all night long. And if there was a female passenger, they would send me there, but she wouldn't come out. Like, I would have to sit there and wait, and then the time would run out, and then I would just drive off, right? They just kept doing that consistently, and I was speaking to you guys about that over the few weeks. They kept doing it, so I knew something was strange. I'm not dumb, right? And me mentioning something like that, I guarantee you there were people in the live in their own mind judging me like, what is this guy talking about? Man, and on top of that, I even called Uber. I even called them and said, hey, what's going on here? Is there some kind of software you're running? Why is it that I'm only getting male passengers? And then not only am I only getting male passengers, they started to get a little cute. They wanted to put a little sauce on it, no pun intended. and they started bringing around. They started bringing homosexuals. Not that I discriminate. I'm doing a job. I don't care what you do. I'm here to transport you safely around the city, so you're not out here getting DUIs, killing people, right? Oh, I want to tell y'all something about that too. But anyway, I wait for that. So anyway, I keep showing you guys that they're doing this, right? They're only male passengers, and then they start using the LGBT community to also exasperate that it's all males, and it starts sending me to pick up people from a lot of what you would call like gay clubs, and and then drop them off at another gay club. So I'm just in this environment of all these males. It's summertime. These dudes are in these clubs jumping around, sweating. They big, and they kept on making a point to send a bunch of dudes in a car all together, right? Just finished jumping around in the gay club, partying. They're coming out tipsy, sweaty, and they're all dudes. They're all big, and they just kept on coming, putting them in the car, right? So now I'm noticing this is going on, and I'm calling, asking them what the hell was happening. Oh, nothing's wrong. Oh no, that they always say. Always, no, it's just random. It's just there's no way we could do that. There's no way we could, control what gender of person is riding in your car. They always say this stuff to us, right? There's nothing wrong. Everything's just normal. Come to find out, the story just came out July 23rd, which was about 3 or 4 days ago, right? It just came out that Uber is rolling out a program where now female passengers will only be connected. I got the article screenshotted here on my phone, and I'll share it in my shorts, but because I don't feel like trying to like send it to my other phone, and then, but I have a screenshot it in the phone that I'm on, and it's gonna be hard for me to show it to you guys. So, but I'll show you this. I'll put it in my shorts or something like that, or a community post, and check it out. But they're high beaming the hell out of me right now. I need to close this windshield. I need to close this rearview mirror because it is high beaming the hell out of it. But anyway, it just came out. The story came out on MSNBC or NBC.com. Look at all this energy behind me. Always. But anyway, the story just came out that they're rolling out a new program where they're only gonna match female passengers with female drivers now on an Uber platform for safety reasons, right? That's for quote unquote for safety reasons. So that's 50% of the population that the male passengers are being cut off from being able to drive around. And we're losing, so we're losing money. So that's one of the reasons why I wasn't making money out there like that, because I got 50% of the population cut off. I'm only getting a few offers, and then when I do get them, it's horrible because now also on top of that, they chose Atlanta, my city. They chose Atlanta to be one of the cities where they have the driverless Ubers there. So they don't even want Uber doesn't want us to have the vehicles. Look at that waterfall over there. Uber doesn't want us to drive the passengers around. We're not good enough to drive around us humans, especially males, right? And then anyway. We're not good enough to ride around people in our cars in the city no more. We invest in $1,500 a month on a vehicle, but we're not good enough. Fully electric, beautiful car, everybody's loving it, but it's not good enough. They got to go get the driverless cars, which they use to gangstalk as well, by the way. But they flooded the city with those, so cutting our throats another way. So that's cutting us off in two ways. How I'm gonna make bread, right? Investing in it. We got to invest to do Uber. So anyway, they rolled out the program. I'll show you the article. So now the female passengers will only be mixed with will be matched with the females. And exactly what I was saying. They were gaslighting me when I called. I knew something was going on. I can see these patterns. I'm not a moron. The things that I'm telling you guys is never crazy. It's just that I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the ball because they're using us as experimental, like test subjects. That's why I said they use us as like, it's just saying, how will it play? There's this old saying in America. They say, how will it play in Peoria? There's a place called Peoria, Illinois, all right, in America. And they look at that place as like the essential American city, right? It's an everyday American city. So they will test things there to see how the people respond to it, because they represent a large population of people. They're like a microcosm of the macrocosm. I know, so, look it up if the words are kind of, I'm sorry for, but I try to speak very basic on my lives and on my videos. I don't try to, but anyway, that small example, right? So that's with us as TIs. With certain things, they want to see what it will be like, or test it out on us without our permission. But that's another point. I'm sorry to keep it going, but I got to say this too. There's another TI that I was listening to, and she was telling her story, and she was talking about how she's doing food deliveries and how much gang stalking she deals with. And there's another TI that was just saying the same exact thing. She was talking about the color code and all the shit she was going through, and myself as well. Right around the time when I started getting into this whole ride share and food delivery and Uber and the apps and all that, a lot of this stuff picked up. So I think that there is something that's in the terms and conditions possibly that we don't read. We just hit accept so we can go make the money. We might be opening ourselves up by signing certain contracts with some of these places that's allowing some of these things to go on, and some of this testing to go on us to test how we react and stress tests and different things. And I know I failed a few times, but I'm just a human. I just like other TIs have mentioned, maybe they're just mimicking me, but I've had to call and cuss out customer service, flipping out, all that. I mean, just going crazy. They even gave me like $800 a few summers, 2 summers ago, just because. I guess because of the frustration, because they knew what they were doing to me, and they can't say anything. But yeah, guys, it comes out that it was true. I told you guys that's what was going on. So I'll send you the story. I'll put it up somewhere on my YouTube channel, because I'm blocked out of my Instagram still. I haven't been able to get that together. So I just wanted to tell that story. So I'm gonna go ahead and read some of these comments. Yeah, I'm gonna read some of these comments, and for you guys out there, you need to check out this. It's this app that's going around and starting to pick up a lot of traction. I see other people are also becoming aware of it though. It's called the T app. It's an app where you have to be a female to get on the app, and they make you sit in a selfie. And what they're doing is they're sending around like guys pictures and information, and they're using these networks to basically, like, spill the tea. That's why they call it the T app, right? TEA. They're spilling the tea. They're giving out your information on you, giving you your profile out to all these other women. You could just take a guy's picture and put it in there and ask if anyone out there knows anything about this guy, stuff like that. And they're doing it on a sneak tip, right? It's called the T app, right? So that's a form of the gang stalking that I talk about. But little people know that's nothing new. Check out my my post here on my YouTube channel, where I shared an old story from many years ago. I shared an old story from many years ago of it was this website that was called don'tdatehimgirl.com. And they were sharing dudes information like that on the website. This is probably before a lot of you guys' time. The video that it was posted was like 16 years ago. So who knows that the website was older than that. And a lot of you, were very young. But I remember when that was out, way back in the day, early 2000s. It was called don'tdatehimgirl.com. Well, now they got the updated version. It's called the T app. And it's just little stuff like that, that examples of just the mindset of society, and the gang stalking and the bullying and the sneaky, covert use of technology to demonize and control and dominate and suppress people. And it's just part of the culture. It's just okay to do because it gives people an upper hand, and that's all they care about. They don't care about ethics, fairness, any kind of morality, nothing, privacy, respect, dignity. It's just about getting that upper hand and dominating. And hey, shit, they in the high rises, they got the mansions, they know more than me, right? What the fuck? What do I know? So anyway, I'm gonna read a few of these comments, and I'm gonna go ahead and there we go. So I only got 20% battery anyway on the phone now. It just clicked in. You guys, it's been a pretty steady audience in here. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Good energy tonight. Thank you again, Kimberly. If anybody else has sent the Cash App, like I said, I haven't seen it yet. Whenever I get positive notifications on my phone, the security surveillance software usually intercepts it, and it doesn't send me the notification, so I have to go look for it, because God forbid I get a positive dopamine hit from something like that. So they got to control your dopamine hits. So anyway, but what the hell do I know, right? Let me get back to let me see. I'm gonna start on these. I'm gonna start at the bottom of the comments, and then I'm gonna go up for as long as I can, real quick, just to kind of interact or answer any questions, and then I'm gonna end this live. I'm here, and I got to get myself situated and get prepared for what I got to get ready to deal with. to to stay afloat here. All right. So any donations will be great on my Cash App. Now is really the time. If you never could before, now is the time. All right. So I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna go up from here. Okay. So witness, you're the first one I see. It says got nothing, but we'll send something in the future. All right. God bless you. Uh, look up says, but they seem to think the blessing will go on forever. Okay, I got to read the ones before that. Okay, he said, from my perspective, we are definitely in the apocalypse. Uh, okay, you were talking to somebody in particular. Okay, let's see. Who wants smoke says, learn a trade, dog. Become a plumber. Every job that make be automated will automated, and you are just data analyst for the robotics. Own nothing and be happy is the future. Yeah, I know. I'm readjusting things right now. I got, like I said, I got divorced about 5 years ago. It's crazy. It's 5 years ago now. Um, Here at the end of the summer makes 5 years. I just had a whole different kind of life before, and it's just been a readjustment with coming into being gang stalked, being divorced, all happening while the pandemic was going on, and everybody just turned and betrayed me at once. So it's been a process to just to make a try to come back. You know what I mean? And just get back to normalcy and learn how to survive in this new world. I'm getting better. You know what I mean? But again, it's setbacks every now and then. It's a battle. It's a war. They remind me on a consistent basis that they're at war with me. I didn't declare war on anybody, but whoever's doing, they declared war on me. So I gotta I gotta yeah, I'm working on things. We're getting there. We're getting there for sure. But definitely leaving this automated stuff, all this online apps, and yeah, all that's getting ready to come to an end. I already have something in the works that I have good experience in, that I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use my advantage that I do have. I have an advantage, and I'm gonna use that advantage to my. I'm gonna use that leverage. I'm gonna use that advantage and leverage my next move. I'm not gonna mention what it is right now, but I do have something in the works. I didn't come out here with no plan. It's just things gotta be executed. The plan has to be executed. So I'm working on things, but I do got something that I think is gonna be a good move for me right now. Something I just didn't want to do over the past few years because I wasn't ready, but now I'm ready. And now I don't have a choice. I just crossed that bridge and kicked it over. So I gotta do something. I gotta make something shake. Let me see. Okay, I said I was going upward. Okay, so Mike says, nah, Messiah returns soon. Okay. Look up says Dark Ages, can't wait. Yeah, we need this stuff, man. I really hope that all this internet and stuff is just drastically reduced or just like tucked away for a while and learn how to be humans again. It's terrible, man. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. I tell you, you guys, especially you young guys, you really don't know how terrible it is because you didn't really get to experience a lot of life before this stuff took over. And it was so much better. It was beautiful. Like right now, we get ready to hit 11/16, which is 27. You'll see some gang stalking activity. I'll crack the windows for the noise campaign. All right. Well, yeah, for those of you young guys, you 20 somethings and earlier, y'all really didn't get to experience life before all this technology took over. It was so nice. It was nice to be in places with no phones. Everybody was engaged in the moment. Yeah, it was a good time for sure. Let's see. Thoughts on 9/11? Do you think it actually happened? I just tell you, I don't know. I just know the thing. I do see a lot of the stuff but the more we think we know, the more we don't know. And what I do know about, or what I do feel, I don't think I'm gonna share. I don't think I'm gonna share that stuff, because what's one thing I know they do is put people on these lists who are 9/11 deniers, and I think I'm on enough lists. I got enough problems, so and right now ain't the time. So I keep my thoughts on that to myself. But let's just say, man, the more we think we know, the less we know. We just, who knows? Things are way above our pay grade. And they're doing a good job of making sure to push us into circumstances where we don't even have time to even ponder stuff like that, because we're trying to survive. And it sucks, but it's true. Let's see. But that's your answer, Mario R. Okay, you were talking to Look Up right there, Mike. Oh, says things slam me into the wall or ditch upside down in the river. I never get in a driverless car. Mike says I'll never get in a driverless car. Thing might slam me into a wall or ditch. Yeah, I know, especially being a TI. You like, man, a lot of people feel that way, but I think soon it's going to be inevitable where you don't have a choice. They're doing everything they can do, but they got to cut us out as drivers. They got to make the money for the shareholders. So paying us is definitely probably a rock in their shoe. So they want to get us out the way, so they don't got to worry about human issues and just let their little robotic cars do it. That's crazy that's the competition. Then they use them to gang stalk around the city, and then they're gonna cut us off from female. All right, guys, I'm still going. I'm on this live still. I'm gonna try to. I'll go maybe 11:30 if you guys are still here, but I'm gonna get it. I'm getting off before 11:30. I'm just finishing off the comments. I was supposed to stop at 11, but you guys have been keeping the conversation going, so I'm here for you, just like you guys have been here for me. All right. Let's see. Yeah, it's driverless cars. I can't believe it. Then they're gonna bring it right to my city. I'm telling you, man, you a real deal TI. They do some crazy stuff. Always gotta be around you. They gotta bring the driverless cars to me. Back in 2018, when Governor DeSantis and the other guy Gilbert were going through their debate, the whole thing was going down right in my neighborhood. Anyway, I'm not getting into all that. It's always weird stuff around when you are a real deal TI. Just know that. All right, truckers been trying to kill me on the highways. Unreal, hedge and box you in. Yep. Run you off the road by side swiping you. Everything you can imagine, especially Amazon red cab trucks with blue trailers. Yep, everything you just said right there. I got the exact same experience, and I experienced it all these road trips I've been taking lately. I've just become used to it. They started doing that to me when I got here. I didn't put my window up. They're gonna start making noise. I'm gonna get off this live before 11:30, guys. So be Eastern time. But they've been doing that to me now for the past 3 years. Once I got up to the Atlanta area, literally the moment I start hitting those highways, like every time I told you guys, it happened on a few lives. Every time I get on the highway, there's a big rig truck right there to meet me, synchronizing every time that I try to merge on, like it's blocking me from getting in every time. And they use those guys. They sit out here on the highways, coordinating around the world, around the highways, to try to create dangerous circumstances to harm TIs. Who would have ever thought that? Like when you grow up in a world, you don't have you don't get prepared for shit like that. Like they don't prepare you for, you know, the possibility of something like this. It was never a thought. You know what I mean? It's amazing. So we're trying to learn on the fly. There's nobody from the past that could tell us how to deal with something like this. This shit is sick. We're not supposed to be. Well, I guess we are supposed to be because it's happening. It's happening. It's going on. It exists. It's possible. So it is what it is. But it just really sucks nowadays you have to be subjected to the thoughts and the ideas of these sick people. You know what I mean? They're very sick. Their opinions and shit like that. It usually wouldn't matter. Who cares what they think? Go kick rocks. Go jump in the water. Who care? But now they got this technology and all that where they can like kind of impose their opinions on shit that they shouldn't even have access to anyway. They got all this information about your life that they are only made privy to because of snooping and sneaking and shit. And then they think that you really care about their opinion on certain. It's like to antagonize. It's like we shouldn't have to be subjected to all that. This is way too much stimulation. So I think it's something's gonna have to give. Like you gotta know somebody's thoughts on your every move. When you're a TI, you're being scrutinized, and they use different ways to communicate to you their opinions and thoughts on things that's going on in your life. Directed conversation, all that. But it's done in a cowardly way where there's no way for you to respond, at least not, and still look like you are sane. Yeah, it's real sick, man. This uses technology to spread the sickness, but of the sick-minded people, the sick-hearted and the sick-spirited and the sick-minded people, they use their energy with this and merge it with this technology to create this environment. But the people that's vibrating high, they don't want that. They want us vibrating higher to jump in the water and disappear. It's sick. All right, let me finish some of these comments. We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop by 11:30, like I said. All right, I'm serious on that one. Yeah, but the truckers witness. Yeah, the truckers are definitely they are terrorizing the American expressways and highways all up around this country. It's unbelievable that that's what they're doing. And then you jump out, you walk up the street, you get out the car, you walk into Walmart. It's gonna be a trucker with one of those headband, one of those little headsets on, smiling and grinning, and want to greet you like he's your best buddy or some shit, like it's all good. But him or somebody just like him just try to uh, you know you know what I'm saying. They just try to do you know how to try to do it. Bust a move on us. All right. Let me see. Business owners, 20 deliveries a day. Women preference. Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 You must heard. You must be talking about what I was saying. It says 20 deliveries a day. Facts. 20 deliveries a day. Women preference Ubers. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's what I was talking about at that moment. Um, wow. Nothing digital can be manipulated. Wow. Nothing digital can be manipulated. Who Wants Smoke says this because women feel unsafe with male drivers. They will match female drivers with female riders. Yeah, that's what I was saying. But you feel unsafe, but it's a business. You know what I mean? Like, if you feel unsafe, then females rode in cabs with men for decades. They rode in the cabs. Before the cabs, they were going around on horse and carriage. Before the cars were around, they had male drivers. Look at Driving Miss Daisy. Was Driving Miss Daisy uncomfortable that Cleophas or whatever was gonna turn around and lick his lips at her or some shit? Nah, he's doing his job. But there are some weirdos and creeps out here, and that's where the better background checks and the better vetting and focusing on, instead of chasing around innocent TIs, put the resources and focusing on people who really have problems, who are out here terrorizing shit. But they don't want to do that. And what do I know, right? What do I know? Yeah, it's stupid though, because like I said, it's just cutting into the money. Like it hurt me bad. It's really that they would do that to bring you know driverless cars, and then cut off female passengers to dudes. That's ridiculous. What kind of environment? What are we doing out here? What are we doing? With society, Yeah, let the work on mental health out here. Have better, well-adjusted men. Stop making it so difficult for men to date. With these unrealistic, situations going on. Make shit better. Make shit America great again, so men can date, and they can express those desires and that way of expressing themselves in the proper channel, the proper time. But when you are being deprived and repressed and suppressed in your sexuality and all that, and I ain't talking about just like I'm talking about just straight up, just men not being able to have access to women like that, the way things are now. Unrealistic. I got 10% on the battery. I'm about to end this before 11:30, but they got societies all twisted up where you got to be extraordinary, super Dave, to really, for a woman to think that you're even worth her time. It's just the times that we're in. So if it wasn't so screwed up like this, which is purposely done, men would have be able to express those kind of feelings and emotions in the proper way at the proper time, where it is appropriate. But again, when you got a sick environment where people aren't able to express that stuff the right way, it starts to manifest itself like that and show in ways that are inappropriate, that's getting people caught up. That's why I've always been careful with the women in my vehicles that I did it. I've never came on to them, even when they come on to me, especially if they were drunk. I never entertained it. I never took them serious. If I get the phone number, if they call me, they call me. If they're drunk, I don't take it serious. I'm not getting caught up. I got a webcam at all times, making sure it's recording. So it is what it is. Times are changing. We got a different energy that's controlling the country right now, and the kind of guys that are getting in there, the younger ones in particular, they are in position right now to be able to shape society. They're being given an opportunity, a younger generation right now, they're being given an opportunity to shape society a little bit more, to tailor the way they feel like things should be, with using this whole techno fascism kind of vibe, these nerds or whatever, with these ideas and their personal pain and their personal shortcomings and shit. They're able to get like a revenge of the nerds kind of thing going on, and they got themselves a good seat at the table, and they're doing things in the background right now to try to rig the table in their favor, and they're taking out the real deal dudes. You get what I'm saying? And it's hard for people to recognize it because it's being done behind the scenes. It's being done in an insidious way, and it's coming from places that you wouldn't expect it to come from. So these guys are able to manipulate things right now out here to where like the real ones, the real dudes, the real deal guys are right now uh, are really being suppressed right now and oppressed because of this technology. The revenge of the nerds are really winning right now, and they got the drop on us at the end of the day. All right, guys. I can't go any longer. I gotta get some rest. You hear my voice. I thank y'all. Let me see. Let me try to flash my Cash App one more time before I end this. And this is the phone that almost got lost, and the girl came like an angel and saved me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody out there must be praying for me. Um, I appreciate that. Even if you can't donate, the prayer and a positive thought, positive energy, positive vibes being sent my way is definitely valuable as well. But here in the physical and the tangible world, you know that cash is king, with the environment. So any kind of cash donation will definitely help me on this journey. I'm sharing my story with you guys. So if you get anything from it, let me hurry up because this phone is gonna die. I'm trying to pull up my Cash App, and then this phone is gonna die, guys. I can plug it in. Let me plug it in real quick. Let me not be a moron. I know I'm tired, but let me not be dumb. Let me just plug it in real fast so I can just show this Cash App before I end this. I'm sorry if I missed your comment. Leave it in the comments if I missed it in the chat. Just send me a comment. I just re-downloaded my YouTube studio, so I'll be able to respond to people. I'm starting to see the messages. I had no space, had to delete it. So, and YouTube doesn't always show me all my messages, so I'll be responding. I don't ignore anybody. All right, so my phone is not gonna die. I'm plugged in. So let me show my Cash App, but then I gotta go, guys. I'm out of juice. I gave you my everything today. I gave my all. Kimberly, thank you all there for the blessing. If anybody else has already blessed the Cash App, thank you. I haven't seen it yet. Again, they do suppress my positive notifications with the software, the surveillance software. So I won't see it until I end this live. All right, guys, here it is right here. So I'm gonna show my Cash App right now. If you got your pins or your iPhone notepad out, here's the Cash App. If anybody wants to help out on this new journey that I'm embarking on right now, I'll be able to show you more and show you more of this experience. But at this point, it's more of a, yeah, definitely, like I said, it's a good time to show a little love. It'll be a good time right now if you haven't ever before, or if you can, it's a good time. Anything helps. Don't think that your contribution would be insignificant and that I would, be offended. So anything helps. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. I'm not always here asking, but I just got some extraordinary circumstances taking place right now. So, I gotta at least reach out to my network, and that's how you cause yourself to not be isolated. Okay. All right, guys. I'll probably put the link to that in the comments as well, or at least in the description. So I appreciate you guys for coming in. Yeah, hey man, you know what, Witness? I appreciate that. God damn it. I did see people do that before. That's a good idea. Ask somebody to do that. I appreciate you. See, man, this network of people right here. That's why it's important, TIs. Open your mouth, tell your story. People will resonate. I know it's tough. Start off like me. Don't start off not showing your face. Just show your story. Show what you're targeting. Okay, so who wants smoke says Zell or Vimo. Hope you see my message. Okay, I see it right there. No, I can't even use neither one of those right now, actually, unfortunately. Damn. Yeah, my Zelle is messed up right now. I have one of my accounts are overdrawn. Yeah, they're putting me through it right now. So I'm trying not to drown. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting. So yeah, I can't even use that Zelle because it's connected to one of my accounts that's overdrawn. And I got, I haven't been able to fix it. Let me see. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. All right, Ricardo. Thanks, man. Y'all got the wrench. I appreciate the prayers and all that. I see your message. Who wants smoke? It's okay, man. I don't have those right now. If you can ever do a Cash App, I appreciate that. But I gotta go get some rest, man. I gotta go map out how I'm gonna make these moves that I gotta make here by Tuesday. So I'll be in contact, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end this live. Here comes a dude walking by doing a little gang stalking for you guys. There you go. Big white dude, Florida dude. It looks like, or maybe Georgia. I don't know. Somewhere down here in the South. Big dude, big tattoos. But anyway, yeah, guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate you spending time. I'll talk again. I'll be updating you guys on what's next and what's going on. And I talk to you